TikTok is notifying viewers that we're live. I wanted to do a check-in and see how people are feeling today. We get that Scorpio moon tonight. We've had it all day. We had it yesterday too. We also have Mercury squaring Mars. So this is not till overnight, probably when we're sleeping, depending on where you are. But Mercury squaring Mars. So Mercury, planet of communication, squaring is kind of like tension. Mars, planet of war. So there's like a little bit of tension around communication. And yeah, so I have a little bit of that, honestly. I'm like, I'm not sure why I'm doing this, why I'm on, but I think I want to share a Tao message from this oracle by Ma, Deva, Padma. Sharing a little bit of message, a little bit of medicine using, oh, welcome, Danny Esposo. So I think about sending a message that drops us into the now. So whether you are watching this live from the beginning or you catch this in your own divine time, time is really just an illusion. So when we take a pause together, when we take a breath together, no matter where it is you're tuning in from, we're dropping in together. And this is what's so special about unity consciousness. Welcome, welcome. Is that we get to drop in together. We get to drop into the astral realm. What's up, Ben? Welcome, welcome. So when we drop into these little moments together, into these little lives, we get to invite in the pause. Just a moment of contemplation. There's nowhere that we have to run off and be at. There's nothing we've got to do urgently. We just have this moment now. Welcome. Welcome. So while we have this moment now, let's just take a breath together. How's everybody feeling? You know, we are here in Florida, in Waimama, and we just had a hurricane last week, Helene, come through. We were very, very, very blessed. Welcome, welcome. Very blessed to say we didn't have any damage here. But we've got another storm coming. So right now it feels like we're in the waiting game. So we've been preparing. We got boom lift outside, new chainsaw, and taking down branches and cleaning up the yard and just preparing for a storm. So that's where I'm at today, preparing for a storm. After Helene, waiting for this next storm to come, and just kind of in that waiting period, that integration period where we're processing this last week. So my invitation today is to drop into the Tao, is to drop into the now moment together. Right now we're in Jinki 48, which is the shadow of inadequacy. This is the gift of resourcefulness, and this is the city or the divine expression of wisdom. So resourcefulness, this is such a blessing. What a beautiful gift. So here in Florida, we've got a hurricane that'll be coming up in the next couple of days. And we get to be so resourced. We've got a Home Depot that we can go to, that we can rent out a boom lift so that we can get a chainsaw and we can take down the branches so that we can prepare for this storm without doomsday prepping. We're not on the vibration of fear. We're not on the vibration of, oh my gosh, this thing's gonna happen to us. We're in the vibration of what a blessing that we have a weather report that tells us what is potentially going to be happening, and of course it can change. And while we're in that waiting stage, in that liminal space where there's so much opportunity in the space, we get to be resourced through the space, through our preparation. So instead of waiting for all the supplies to be gone from the stores and there's no rentals and there's no chainsaws, we get at it today. and we adopt. We go out into the environment, we listen to the trees, literally going to the trees, asking for permission. Is it okay if we take some limbs down to prepare for this storm? And they start shaking and they're like, I'll tell you which ones to take down. So we're in communion, being resourced by the environment. This is all of us, custodians of this earth. You know, we get to be the gardeners, we get to be the guardians of this earth. And right now we're in a very active hurricane season. So in the gift of resourcefulness, how do we stay resourced during an active storm season? No matter where we are, there's some turbulence coming. We've got solar flares, we've got all of these tumultuous energies. And so one way that I like to stay grounded is to tap into the Tao, is to read a message from this moment that drops us right in. So for everybody that's here, thank you for being here. And I'm going to drop us in to the Tao, into the message that we need to know now. I've just pulled a card while we were waiting for people to get here. And it's number 5, waiting. And a couple keywords: perseverance, take care of essentials, restraint, leave well enough alone, moderation, and right timing. So maybe y'all are feeling into this right now. So let's check it out. This is from Deva's Padma's deck. The timing is not yet right for the change and release you are seeking. It may feel as if waiting one moment longer will cause you to burst, but wait you must. Although it appears that nothing much is happening, on a deeper level, great changes are taking place. And when the result of those changes finally unfolds, you need to be present to receive it, centered and calm. This is resourcefulness. This is preparing for the storm, whatever the storm is. The kind of progress taking place now is invisible, being guided by a power greater than your own. By forestalling any visible outer progress, the Tao is providing you with time to nurture your inner strength and get ready for what is to come. The gift of waiting that is being offered now, if you can receive it, will empower your ability to accept and appreciate the isness of the here and now. When a time of waiting is at hand, there is a need for inner work or personal practice that prepares you for birthing the new. The single most important requirement is your willingness to step back from the desire to push forward. It means suspending future plans and fantasies and consciously bringing yourself back again and again to the present moment. Let's do that right now with a deep breath together. Ready? Let's go. Scorpio moon right now shows us that just one breath can be an entire lifetime, a complete reset back into a recalibrated nervous system. So here we go. That's what we're doing right now. We're recalibrating our nervous system. For everyone wants to meet me in that place where you remember you are whole and you are perfect. Let's get into that space right now to reclaim, to remember, to reunify, to yoga, to yoke. Here we go. Let's see. When a time of waiting is at hand, there's no need for inner work or personal practice that prepares you for birthing the new. The single most important requirement is your willingness to step back from the desire to push forward. I already said that. In every transformation, there must be time to build up inner strength, even though that timing might not fit with what you think should be happening. The ripening that's occurring requires that you wait and trust. In spite of the fact that there are no clear indications as to the timing of events, there is a deep process at work within your own being that must be completed before external events can shift. So life is not working against you now. In fact, it never works against any of us. We are challenged in myriad ways throughout the whole of our lives to find a sincere yes to what life provides. But this needs maturity, and maturity means being able to take a detached overview that's concerned not primarily with outcomes or goals, but with understanding and awareness and the journey toward them. While you are waiting, keep your outlook positive and your body healthy. Tend to the ordinary with extraordinary care. By putting your focus on strengthening your sense of well-being, you'll be cooling down and redirecting the energy of impatience and aggression towards more creative pursuits. Remember that any obstacles you might encounter are not permanent conditions. Rather, they are life's way of steadying you and bringing you into a more centered state. In retrospect, you might find that much of the energy that you have spent in pushing for details, planning new tactics, and seeking solutions to problems has succeeded only in busying your head and bringing you back to square one. In other words, it has created more trouble, not less. Stay on track by nurturing self-awareness and waiting patiently and with optimism for the tide to turn. When it finally does, you will be more than ready to embrace the new. So right now we are in the gift of resourcefulness. This is about the preparation. We've got a storm coming in a couple of days, and we get to prepare through our resources to say, okay, what do we got to do to get the yard ready? So let's look at the 6 lines of the hexagram in this idea of waiting. Maybe there's 6 different ways that this message can be coming to you. And you can decide if maybe there's 1 or maybe 2 that you feel a resonance with. Maybe none of them, maybe all of them, but let's see. So we're looking at the Tao. We're looking at Oracle message number 5. So this is hexagram 5. In the gene keys, this would be impatience, patience, and timelessness. And in the I Ching, this is the hexagram name waiting. So bottom line, anticipating problems and working out how to deal with them ahead of time can be useful, but it's not useful now. It's time to accept the fact that there are some things that simply cannot be foreseen. All your attempts to prepare yourself for what you think is to come will only agitate you and disturb the energy that's better spent in getting your feet on the ground in the here and now. So, today as we were preparing for this storm, we're like, let's go shopping first, and let's go take ourselves out to a nice lunch, and let's have a little date, because the prep for the storm can wait. We are in the here and now to have fun and have play, always first and foremost. Line 2. This might come around if you are thinking of you and other. We're in Libra season, so we're all about relationship, you and other. So this might come through this particular one, line 2, in a relationship to something outside of you. If you haven't been able to resist the urge to make a preemptive strike, you might now be dismayed to find that it has turned out to be just a bad move. If this is your situation, don't draw further attention to yourself by trying to defend your actions or rationalize your blunders. If you can manage to gather up your dignity and sit still for a while, your impatience will be forgiven and forgotten as events continue to unfold. Line 3, and this might be in like a small team, a network. When you race to the top of the hill on your own in the middle of a heated battle, you shouldn't be surprised if both sides start shooting at you, thinking you're one of the guys from the opposing side. The only intelligent thing to do in such a situation is to make of yourself as small a target as possible. If you can find some shrubbery to hide yourself in, even better. About the time your heart stops pounding and you can catch your breath, the circumstances will have changed and you can rejoin your friends, perhaps a little wiser for the experience. Welcome, Nana. Okay, let's go. And line 4. Silent sitting provides the opportunity for reflection. So thank you for being here in this moment, because that's what we're doing. We're just contemplating, taking in a little bit of data while we relax our nervous system. And it becomes possible to see in reality the situation, whatever we're sitting with in the silence, is neither good or bad, it just is. The real task is to come to a place within your own thinking that can detach from any judgments that you may be harboring about yourself or others. The best way to take a distance from the hurricane that surrounds you is to sit still at the very center of it. Hello, as I just said, we are in the middle of preparation for a hurricane. And line 5, this is our power used out in society. Really living in synchronicity with the flow of Tao requires self-awareness and alertness to the rhythms of change. When the opportunity arises to take a breather, make sure you take full advantage of it. Enjoy the rest, but remember not to fall asleep. There is still much more to come that will demand your total attention when it does. Top line, line 6. This is the wild card. Learning about endurance, tolerance, and maintaining your composure in spite of delays and difficulties are essential life lessons that cannot be bypassed if you are to become mature. You might now find yourself in a position that brings you a deeper level of appreciation for the inexplicable perfection in the timing of things. In the midst of chaos and difficulties, this understanding will enable you to recognize help when it comes and to accept it graciously and with gratitude. So there we are right here. Perseverance, taking care of the essentials, taking care of what needs to be taken care of and leaving the rest alone. And this is a Libra season, so this is exactly what we're doing all season. We're coming into right relationship. What does it take for us to have a regulated nervous system? We're not doing all this preparation, for the hurricane because we're apocalyptic dread and existential crisis. We're doing it because we want to feel prepared and regulated so that we can have a really good night's sleep tonight. So we can know that we've got okay, so we rented the truck, we took down the branches, we've got the chainsaw, we've also got the generator, we've got the water, we've got the supplies. And because we have these things, now we feel safer in our body. And from that place, we get to play more. We get to have more fun. We get to come on and share little oracle messages because we feel so regulated in our nervous system that we're not doomsday prepping because we have a storm coming. We're just saying, okay, yeah, we have a storm coming and we are preparing for it. This is the wisdom that we learn about through the gene keys. Thank you, David. This wisdom is actually tapping into the fact that we are never unprepared. We are never inadequate. From the moment that we took our first breath, we had all of the tools that we would ever need. And the wisdom is found. The crystallization in our bones is the experiences that we have. This is the wisdom that we learn from doing things the wrong way. I know how to prepare for a hurricane now because I didn't then, because I learned what it was like not to prepare for a hurricane and then be completely in frenetic energy and then keep aligning with that. So then you are going to have devastation. So when we regulate the nervous system, we come at it with this preparation, we're actually aligned with trust and faith. And sitting in bed at night saying, I did the best that I could with the tools that I had. That's perfection. That's everything that we could imagine that we could do, is just being in that place of trust and surrender, that I've done my part, and now we pray, and we sit back and we trust. Sending you so much love, that this hurricane season, whatever it is, just blesses your life in some miraculous way. And just you remember how possible miracles are always, in all ways. I love you. Namaste.